Welcome. I am Crimey Queen, and if you are joining us for the first time, I need to be focusing on the other end. Okay, if you are joining us for the first time, this is the channel where we have fun with words and numbers, numerology to be precise. Oh, I've had such an interesting day, and I'm feeling like so elated now, and I'm able to really say yes, I am really having fun because I did a couple videos today which was very well, I had to be very transparent, and it's not like I am less transparent, but I had to make a physical effort by being barefaced. So you would see my presentations on bareface and thinking, okay, so I could only put a bit of oil on my lips just to make sure that it is moist, and I had to be barefaced to do this because I did this because I was so guided to do that. It was a revelation for me to see how attached I had become to wearing makeup, which is not heavy, but it's the act. I had been so attached to the act, and of course I had to understand a deeper level of transparency. However, let's continue with this presentation. This is a subject that I know that it's been in me for quite some time and very early on to unpack, but it has also been one that I had put on the back burner, so to speak. And because it is a sensitive topic, because it is sensitive, because it has been used, that it creates that sensitivity, and by that we become defensive. So we are talking about black and white. Of course, I have put yellow here, which I'm hoping that yellow would have helped to put some light upon the subject, as though it were the sun. So for that purpose now, I think it is good that I call upon waters to help us see the transparency in this presentation and revelation, that we can find not just what is going to be revealed in the sense of what we have learned, but to also get some solution, get insights to seeing how we can apply the functions, because I see them as functions or elements of black and white, to create a better world for ourselves. We are moving in a very sensitive place. We are moving into a direction where it requires us to get together and unite. So now that I mentioned black and white, the story is no more about black and white, but this I am drawing on is to help us find the healing, what we can find to heal ourselves. And just like myself today, not thinking that there was much attachment or much inhibition or much contract in a way with myself applying a bit of makeup on my face to do presentations, because it's something that's going to be exposed to the world. It's on the internet, so it's exposed worldwide, and so it is the very same way that I am now seeking to find something. I think it is important that we look at this subject and as if to see whether there is a last resolution, something, or a medicine, or something we could use to really heal ourselves, because the answer is always in the question. So now we are asking the question, how can we use the functions of black and white to really help us get into the new dimension, the new state that we are moving into, the new 8-year cycle or 7-year cycle, which we are ending on? It's like an 8. We are going to move into an 8 It's a new era. So how are we going to use such, how can we use this? How can we understand what has been done so we can know what to do? So we don't want to regurgitate. We just want understanding. So basically I have done this X here, which kind of reminded me of Malcolm X as well. And I'm thinking, wow, could it have been because X is also 10 in Roman numbers? So 10, of course, also equals 1 here. Now, but A in numerology also equals 1. So we can see that 1 here is very powerful. However, in the world of 3D world, if you came first, meaning 1, and it had an ST behind it, that sign, or FIRST, which I think I better do this to get the full FIRST. So ST is Satan again, because that's Mother Eve we are talking about. And this is the first, is like the seed. So Mother Eve is right there as well. She's the God said, the said God. I've got to get this right. So this is 20, 27. So 27, we can see is 9. Now, why is 9 considered first here? We would not have really, this is the thing that is so important that we understand that. So 9 equals, it's 27, and it equals 9 when we add the 2 digits together. Now, I have always said that 9 is really 0 and 1. So basically, we are being called to complete this cycle. Be first in that cycle. Be first, and not in the sense of how we have seen it, but this is what we have seen. But it's like saying birth that new. It's the, we are asked, or Mother Eve is beckoning us to birth that newness, the first cycle, the first round of that cycle. So that's what we are seeing here with first. First is actually 10 reverse. So we are being asked actually to look back, to end this cycle and go back. Now this is what, so we see first, when you are first, it's not asking you about second and all, and no, it's asking you now to go back onto the sacrifice template. There we are. So depending on your state or where you were at, it's the 9 here on this template is asking, or it's showing how to be first. So you have 0, 1. The 1, you go back to here. Doing this jazz. You're doing this jazz. Now, I made reference to Sophia, the artificial robot, whose name, the name Sophia starts with 1, and then it is 6, 7, 8, 9, and 1 again. So basically, Sophia has no dealing into this section here. She goes yes, 1, and here onto Fox City. This is where she's going to get her information as a fox. In the 6, we see here, it's like she's getting into that new, she's going to, it's like going to be near the new people, a new state, because when people are new, they are not so experienced. So you have come from this new direction, and of course you are heading this way, but you are not very clear of what isn't what you need, or your particulars to really maneuver in this section. This is why you are required to be as clever as a fox, as cunning as a fox. And this is why we are meant to have this 666 right here. That's what it's about. The 666 is really about rebirth, finding yourself. You are completing this middle cycle here. You have gone into the developmental stage. You have found your new path. You've gone, open your third eye. But opening your third eye, puts you in a new dimension. You are now required to be like a fox to complete this section. But Sophia has been designed to get the new, to distort the path and focus from here in this six here. 6, 7, 8, 9. And then that one to come back to this one. So it's as if she's not too perturbed or bothered about having meals with you, because she can't eat with you anyway. Not now. But it's the new people, or the new believers, the new pioneers right here. So we are required to be very mindful of what is happening around us. Open our eye. This is what Mother Eve is showing us, how to do that and how to be vigilant in this section. Now back to, okay, so back to this section here. Because, so this is what I mean. We see Sophia here. In fact, I forgot I had this written down here as well. So she is on 6, 7, 8, 9, 1. So she is at the 2 ones where she can go back to that cycle. Now there is another thing that happens very cleverly too. Why she's on 6 here. Because 6 in itself constitute numbers 1 to 5. That is another psychological thing that we need to be mindful of. So basically, we could in essence say she is from 1 to 9. And she is designed to come back to that 1 stage. Likewise, which is where another clever thing, in a way, we could say that on this 2 here, with the 2 on either ends of black, the 2 has in it to go back. It's like designed to go back to the 2 where Christ had the agreement with the disciples, which is number 13. So this is where we have that agreement. This is where foods are served. This is marriage. This is partnership. And of course, these are all the elements we need to get on, to move forward. But however, we also need to address the design of this other aspect that has seen itself as superior to this one here. So the white have seen or has been programmed to see itself as superior to black, even though they have the same numerical value here. But in actual fact, there is something that is embedded in the makeup of this, that it already knows the way to headquarters zone. It already knows the way about paying dues. Just like here, of course, this would denote paying the dues here as well. That is another thing we need to be mindful of. That 1 is also very powerful. So, and then, of course, because it knows about that route, it set up that route. It was the one that set up that route. So it is designed, where's the T? The T is the nail that crucified Christ. The T on the bucket. It's like, we can see where you can be having a cup of tea. Basically, T is tea. This really just dawned on me. So this is where you drink tea, you drink, or you are nailed with the tea. And so we have those two fives here. And in actual fact, not to forget the root of the five here. You are not doing a jazz thing so much anymore because you were born with jazz in your whatever, because you derive from the dark. The light came from the dark. So we are talking about function. I would rather see this as the light here. But these are the things we need to unpack. So in the middle, we see heat. There is an eye. So basically, the eye in the middle, when there is an eye, one can focus, or there is a point of reference in that you make eye contact, and it's in the middle. The eye is what captures the whole picture, the whole of everything. So the eye here is in the middle, which is 9. So basically there is a birthing that takes place in the middle here, which also constitute that one here. So I want to just unpack this a little as well. There was another point that I felt was very crucial. Okay. So basically we're trying to see, for people like myself, of course, for many years when I would be feeling in a form, and which I still do, well, what's your ethnic background? And then it would be black. And then I would see, but black has lack. Black consists of lack. Lack of what is another thing that is important for us to know. What are we meant to feel that we are in lack of when everything derived from black? So that is another thing that I have been concerned with. So basically, I feel that it's high time we find a way to put, or to find the deep meaning, the deep-seated meaning or meanings of the word that can support us in the sense of, and I know this is function. This is a function I'm talking about, but I'm also talking about people like myself who also feel, well, what is the message here? Why is it that one is always writing heat and the other is always writing lack? Or I'm just trying to see if there's another word in here as well. I was going to say type, but no, T-I, well, it could form type as well. It could form T-I-T-H-E. That would be there as well. Not that I think many people would be thinking, perhaps, again, that's where the type has been compounded, the type story. So it's just something I'm looking at here. So just making this comparison here as well. We see, for instance, the W. I have shown how the W is very effective here. This W, for instance, bear with me that I'm going up and down with this. So this W, which is 5, is W, it's E, it's 3, and it's also M. So we see here, there's the white flower right here. I emphasize that here. So we see that there's a flower here. Now, the flower is not so easy to unpack in this sense, although there is one there. It's as if the one could be seen as an obstruction for it. So hence, it seeks partnership to have a bond. So we can see how the bond happens here. But it has the ability, of course, to break free, which is what Judas did. Break free of the agreement. Although it was designed that he did that. And then, of course, for that free to be free, so to speak, that one would have to come out. Judas would have to, let's call it Judas. call it Judas, would have to come out of the way. And so it can now express itself, because free needs room to express itself. And that expression that we are looking for is also coinciding with the story we are going on with now. We feel that Mother Eve is now beckoning us to find that other, whether it was Christ, like Christ, of course, here. I did say Judas, but I am saying, of course, because we are told that Judas hanged himself. So when that, basically, that one from the 13 had toppled over, that free became, was able to have an expression. So this became a god. They both are gods, but it seemed like that this is where with the black at with that one at the end, like it was 13, it was seeking to. This is why it is said, let there be light. It's as if you pull something or take the switch. It's the switch. Something has to come out, or you uncover something. So let there be light. And of course, that's why it is that function. So it's saying it does consist of the light, which is W in this sense. W, you, and I, we are W. Hence, we are two here, just as in the number 13. So we see 11 is also 2. In this sense, 11 is also 13. So we are saying this is how we can relate to the, it's an analogy we could have as let there be light. So the black needs to find that way of understanding, to take that obstacle, break from the old agreement, break free from old agreement, and to bring in the light. Or perhaps it means that it needs to be in that section for a while before it can really flourish. Perhaps it means it needs to form new bond and be like the busy bees, ready to die for its queen, ready to die for what it believes in. So there we see how these expressions come into play. So the W is here, and the W and the B is here. So the busy bee, or we are talking about the busy bee, the business, the breasts, the buttocks, anything of partnership is there. And so we see that the word sacrifice is really designed in that sense, the template, and it shows very clearly what has taken place. That the BKT, of course, now I understand another thing, and now I understand something else. So basically, wow. It's taken me ages to work this out. Wow. So, if you can recall, this is B, the number 13, which is the 2. And it's also the K. And here we have it as the T. I am like with goosebumps here, because this is the very mathematical equation or construct that has been used to really enslave people, control people via food mainly, or thoughts, or entertainment. Wow. Which, when we add this together, 2 plus 2 plus 2 here would be 6. So you are, when you are in this this is the BKT that I had. It has taken me over it has taken me over 500 presentations to really make that connection, that direct connection of how that BKT really came about. I knew I felt it from the very first time, which would be about in my, well, I don't think I had done 100 presentations yet, and I'm going to track the time that I realized that mathematical equation that has been used to control people. I am hoping you understand the message that is being conveyed here. This was devised intuitively. When I came to this part of the presentation of the template, I manipulated the positions of these letters here. As you can see, A ought to have been where J is, and J would be, perhaps, I don't know where S is, or A. They were turned around. These two letters have been swapped. These three letters, I had no inclination to change them, and it's like Spirit just said, well, it's bucket, it's basket. So there was no need to change them, and I felt I had to make note of them, of that as well. And I have done numerous presentations to show that this is the 13th agreement, or the bonding, because I had this revelation while I was doing a presentation, and this is where denoting the sacrifice or the meal, the Last Supper. But I had not, and of course there's the T here, as I say, it is a representation of the nail because we are talking about sacrifice. Then of course there's the K that I could only really say looks like a table when put another way. But to me, there had always been more meaning or deeper depth to what has happened here. Can you really see what has happened here? Can you see that there have been, this is where we call it a satanic, because it's got SA. As I say, the S denotes serpent and Satan, and Mother Eve is Satan and the serpent. But however, Mother Eve had let the business to the other gods. This is the thing we need to really pay attention to. She is all part of this. But she said, let there be light, meaning there was another agent or another god. Or let there be the waters. She was letting. This is what the nature of our business all around the world now is enough to let us know. It's enough to let us know what the word let means. It means to allow. You allow. You are a participant in that, you allow it, but you have also given control to others by allowing. Hence, we are told about we have the freedom of choice, and that is what has happened here in that 6, that bucket, which we see like bucket of Kentucky would have had served their food in buckets. We see the M, which is free, and McDonald's. And now McDonald's have got more M's in their logo. It's as if, well, if you think you're going to catch up with us, we've got more M's, not just M&M's. We have big M's and little M's. So we've got the whole family. Creating a bond with the family. I don't know if people are reading into this, that when you see McDonald's have had these M's, it's like saying, the little, the mother, the father, the whole family is there. Just like adults dress their children now with clothes, matching clothes or designs, just like they have. That's what McDonald's have done now. So now we are seeing, let's capture the essence of this now. So we see that while it is said that Satan is the bad one, which is Mother Eve who had eaten of the fruit, but we have 8 entries where Mother Eve is the one who speaks. She speaks. She says, let there be light. She didn't say not to put on light anymore. She says, let there be light. Meaning, and she also is very related to Jesus, who came to say, don't you know you are the light of the earth? Meaning that there should be light in your affairs. You have the ability to see, to understand what is being done, to understand that when there is a bee here, whenever you see a bee, it consists of 13. The bee is the bee. B is to, there we go, B, if we had BE, that would be number 7. And of course, number 7 would be 2 sevens of 14, which is coinciding with the 14 gods that we have spotted in Genesis of chapter 1 and 2. Now, we also, this is what I am saying, 7 as well. The B, although it is 13, it had to break. It had to break away, meaning Christ had to break away from that bond itself and Judas, because that would be 2 of them that actually broke from that bond now. Judas, of course, one end and Christ on the other. So we see how there is still 2 in partnership. And when Christ comes back, because Christ is the one we told comes back and is risen, then he becomes the 14. So we see how we have 7 plus 7. So the word B also equals 2 sets of 7s, or even more, because hence I have shown, like doing the Holy Bible, and I'm just going to do this here. The Bible is B-I-B-L-E. And this is what the B is about. It's B-I-B-L-E. The energy is in this space here, but it is not spread out. But what the same motion was here. So basically that's what the bee is about, the beehive. And the bees are ready to die to save the queen bee. So we need to learn how to break away from that which no longer serves us, black or white, yellow or green. We need to, in whatever bee that we are in, business or behavior or bread, because the bread, we can see this is why again the word bread was used, B for the bread and the W for the wine. So the B for bread and the W, which we have formed the 8-petal flower with, is actually the B. So in actual fact, we could call this B the sacrifice altogether, because it's B and it's W. That is the ritual, and that is the Bible. The Bible has 2 B's in it. It's 2 B's. So I would like to explore this a bit further and to show how we can really look at those aspects of our nature, our behavior, and how we can best get them to serve us. Okay, thank you. I hope you have found this insightful, and I'm going to try and explain this even clearer because, of course, I am dealing with my emotions around this as well. I have to be honest about that. And of course, I'm sure by it's going to subside and we're going to find some resolution, because this is the question we are asking. We are asking the way forward, and I'm sure we will find the answer to that. Thank you very gladly.